Have you seen recently on the internet and in newspapers where people are purporting that in the Bible there are theories and prophecies and strategies to become multi-rich? And I'm just wondering where they're getting this from. Now, I must say up front here that democracy and capitalism are two systems that work, and they might be the most efficient in the world today. Trumping communism and socialism and all that kind of stuff, because it has that inherent sort of self-interest in which people do things because they're going to benefit and it works, as opposed to socialism where you're working for all this money and then somebody's sitting and then talking about we're comrades and we're all equal. That don't work so much, except everybody becomes dependent on the state or something like that. The Bible, and this is what is on the horizon, the Bible gives the impression of the type of system that God prefers and has in mind is theocracy, which is an economy, it's a politic, it's a total as now, but simply it is with God controlling it. And we see it working for Israel. When they go into war, God fight the battle for them. With God, you're supposed to have no economic cycles. It's straight booming right through. No recession, no depression, no sort of gloom and doom and all that stuff. It's going to be everybody's happy all the time. That's called theocracy. And so since God has shown what he does for Israel, and this is what the future holds, I don't see how now they could find in the scripture texts that are, if practice would get you rich. Now, God does say, of course, that if you do certain things and recognize that he's the owner of everything, that he's going to, bless you and give you stuff. And with Solomon, when he dedicated the temple of God, he didn't ask for riches and long life and all. He asked just for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding how to, lead God's people and so forth. And which was to recognize what God wants and to, and to have the courage to go forward with it. And God said, you know what? I'm going to give you riches and I'm going to give you wisdom and I'm going to give you long life and the whole 9 yards. So that's what Christianity is about, or that's what the Bible is about. And again, to show that it doesn't purport that sort of thing that people are talking about here, you have the Jubilee year, or every 7 year, I think it was, that if debtors are usually freed, you could lend a man $1 million and mortgages land on it. And in 7 years' time, if he doesn't pay it back or something like that, I'm not too straight up in, but you had to give back the man's land, and there was some way in which you couldn't own the land that belonged to the clergy or to the priesthood. That was theirs to be, that land or whatever was to be theirs permanently. Year Jubilee, everything you have to declare bankruptcy. That year, all that you owe just went away. And what happens? You will say, what happened to this guy? He lent this guy $1 million and he had to give back the guy's land and he didn't even pay the guy back the money. Well, that system works with God's blessing. That guy who lent him that $1 million, he would have gotten his regular money back. And on this thing where this guy couldn't pay him back that $1 million, he might see $2-3 million right there. Because God is the one who's going to bless it. His cattle are going to, produce a whole bunch of, offsprings. His crops going to have a bumper harvest. His health is going to be fine. There's so many ways it happens. It's not to say here are two evil people and one evil fella lend the next evil fella money and he doesn't pay him back and everything's going to be good. No, it doesn't work like that. God is the one who blesses. He's the one that convinces this guy to come to the lender, and he's the one that tells the lender to lend him, knowing that he's going to be able to, God is going to take care of business. And in that kind of system, that is why it works like that. All right. You weren't to charge interest also. And in this system today, it's about interest. If you come with a junk bond, you say, I'm paying 500% a year on this. You have everybody coming there. And even if it's a pyramid, they're just happy to know that you tell them 500%. And a lot of times, that sort of investment is always lead to bankruptcy and problems. But people just want to hear they're going to get more than they really should get and so on. And with me, although I'm a business graduate and so forth, if I really get my hand on some money, I'm not going to this big portfolio and big investor. I don't want to do all that, man. I just put the money in the bank. I put in several accounts so that if they go through, the CDFC, whatever, the insurance of the banks, So I get back some money. I'll have like several accounts up to the maximum and so on. And, you know, just live happy. Because in trying to go and increase it by big leaps and bounds, you always lose the money. Okay? I remember a certain church had a surplus in the books, and a guy joined the organization and tell them that, you know what, if you invest the money over here, they're paying more interest than the banks and all that. And you know what, I happen to even got a loan from that organization. And many people also, what was happening is this, and I'm gonna tell you how it really is, the racism and all. It was an Indian guy who had been running this financial institution. And what he will do is, an Indian man will get a loan from that organization faster than a black person. And blacks were putting the money into that organization also. And what they were doing is, here's a contract, and this guy needs 1,000 trucks, for example. And the guy puts down maybe nothing or minimum, and the loan goes on for, say, 5 years. But what this guy is going to do, this guy is going to work this truck day and night. Day and night, working 24/7. And the trucks, he worked them 24/7. When the contract is over, he gets his money, and he just defaults in it, and they have to go and repossess those vehicles now. So they worked so hard, they're almost dead. He just got maybe a fifth of the money, and there's a big loss right there. I purchased a vehicle that it definitely wasn't worth what it was worth, but the money was easy. Go to my guy, take this note, you got the loan. I got this vehicle, man, and this vehicle, I never was able to pay a day on this vehicle back. The vehicle was one that worked in an area where the salt from the sea had almost sort of corroded this whole vehicle. And the guy told me, man, it's a good vehicle and everything, and it had a whole bunch of problems. So I lost my vehicle that I traded in, and then I got a loan from the bank, so I lost everything over there. I had to start over again. The same guy, what he did also, there was another vehicle with this same sea blast, corroded all over. He took it to this body guy, and he told him, this is what I want you to do. And you know how you weld things and you change things, and so, oh no, he put some paper over that and put on the body fill and, you know, spray it up nice and shine it up and looking good. So the guy said, I like that car, man. I'm going to take my wife to show my wife this car. Oh, she going to love it so much. It's so nice. We're thinking about this. We're praying with it. So this guy rolled this car out to the lot, and it going some hole and shake a little bit like that. All that things start cracking up. When he come back, that vehicle was looking so bad. The man said, that's not the vehicle you went out here with, man. You got to get my vehicle back the way you left with it here, and everything will be good. So you had to pay whoever it is to come back and do the next same job, like to put the paper over, you know, body fill it, and so on. So that's the kind of thing. In some cases, the guy might have damaged the vehicle so bad he had no money necessarily to repair it, and then he would have lost his money, because unless he could get it repaired, he can't get back his money. And after a while, it's done. And in the Caribbean, there's no set of commercial consumer protections that you could go out and say this guy, you know, violate no law or nothing. So how you solve that is go and burn down his stuff or shoot him or chop him up or whatever. That's how they solve that. And in a lot of cases, people just walk away with it because they realize it's not worth it. All right. Yeah. So that is the type of capitalism that's going on out there. I recall this guy in Canada, white guy. I guess people telling him that there's all white people over there say, son, check this house. Go sell it whatever you want. Just give us so much. And he made a couple $1 million real quick, and he thought that, oh, I'm so slick. He ain't got no education or nothing. So he went out to buy a big shopping mall somewhere. I ain't going to call it particulars. And the guys that own it, he telling his attorneys, price is no problem. So they keep upping it up because the attorneys are going to make more money. The higher the price go up, they get a percentage. So they keep going up and up. And he say, no problem, is the money, no problem, man. And eventually they settled. And he comes up with all this old talk. Man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restructure this thing. I'm going to lay off here. I'm going to merge this with that and all that. And before he could even make a move on it, all them high stuff, the diamond and all the gold and all them stuff, the employees just take all that and go on with it. So when he catch himself, it can function again. Write off all kind of debt to themselves and all that stuff and all that. When they finished with him, he ended up losing. Well, he had a castle. He was living in a castle. So when the court decided that, look, we're going to take everything you get to pay back, which they lost big times. He said, oh, please, my castle is my home. No, we're taking everything, man. You were dumb. We heard the transactions you were making, but we thought you knew what you was doing, you know. So that's the kind of thing that go on in the type of system that they're saying that God is behind and whatever. No, 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 no. God is not in this thing. God is into theocracy, in which the lender and the borrower are both God's children, and they're going to be honest, and they're going to be fair, and everything is going to work. So no, 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 no. Don't use the Bible for that kind of stuff. That's never the intention of the Bible.